Hello and welcome to Gotham Outsider, your Batman book club. I'm Bat Obsessive Chris, and with me is my co-host TJ.
Hello, everyone. I am your Chris proclaimed Batman acolyte.
This is one of our many Pride Month specials, but we are going to be actually talking about the Pride special. Woo-hoo. But before we do that, previously on Gotham Outsiders, the last time you saw this intrepid hero, they were on to talk about Grant Morrison, Damian Wayne, and all things weird and gay in that run. Comics writer and novelist Ben Kahn.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me back.
And in a surprising turn of events, is he leaving the bad side of rivalry to join our JLQ and become an actual hero on this show? Podcast host Mark Perez.
Hello, and yes, it's happening. I've seen the light, and here I am.
Will he betray us by the end of the special? You will find out. Stay tuned.
Ben, Mark, thank you both for coming on to talk about this anthology with us. Last year, we had two of our favorite guests, and this year we said, you know what, we want to pick two more of our favorite guests.
Yes.
So we are officially adding you both to our JLQ. So
if they're the JLQ, you're JLQ Unlimited.
I thought you were going to say JLQ International.
That's fair. I was thinking the animated world, but we could have gone Grant Morrison with it. Oh, yes. So we have so much gay to talk about today.
Mm-hmm.
Did you both read last year's Pride special?
I thought I did, and now that I think about it, I was like, I don't remember it. I feel so horrible.
I definitely did. It's the kind of thing where if you just asked me to remember it from a year ago, I'm going to be like, oh, I'm really struggling to remember. But if you'd be like, oh, well, what about this particular one? I'd be like, oh, yeah, now I remember it now that you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I have to ask you all, which cover or covers did you pick for this issue?
So I have to admit, I'm usually not terribly concerned with covers. I just want the story within. But I got the little cover where it's the rainbow and it's like rainbow stripes and there's a character in every color of the stripe.
Same here. That's the same one I got as well too. So
which one did I get, TJ?
So
TJ got it for me.
I bought one for Chris. I don't know if you have to give it to them.
Awesome.
It's the Harley Ivy one.
Oh, yes.
That's beautiful.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
And I bought all three because I have no self-control.
Oh, TJ. You're good at being a consumer.
Yeah. But Jaceway Art, who did that horizontal cover, the beautiful third one, I met them just the other day.
Oh, cool.
And gosh, I've been to so many cons recently.
You really have. You've been conning nonstop.
It was awesome con in DC. And anyway, I had them sketch me a little Tim Drake in my DC Pride 2021 hardcover. So I had to shout that out. Go look at that on our Twitter because it's so good.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Well, are we ready to just hop right into this anthology?
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
Let's dive in.
I'm ready.
Coming in hot. First we are talking about Super Pride, which is a story about John Kent and Damian Wayne and
Jay Nakamura.
Yes. And
by Devin Grayson.
Yeah. And we all loved, well, I don't want to speak for Ben and Mark, but Chris and I both loved Son of Kal-El. So I was really looking forward to this story.
Yeah.
Let's contextualize. So this is the one that all of Twitter has been talking about. And I feel like we can't start without saying that, which is upsetting because I wish they were talking about the whole issue and not just this story.
I agree.
It's pretty controversial. So I guess thoughts. I mean, I can dive in if nobody wants to go first. If anyone wants to go first, I please do.
I'll start off by saying I enjoyed this story overall. I think thematically, in some, I'm going to get to those moments that don't line up with what I liked about it, but I just want to focus on that. That image of Jay and John kissing at the end. I think that's really beautiful. I love the art, like the idea of John going to a pride and wearing pride flags on his cape. Like, I think that's a really beautiful message. Again, like, I think it's a beautiful story overall and in concept. But there were a few moments that could have been executed better. There was. I'm gonna bring up the straight pride flag that was on the cape.
It has been edited out because I got a digital version
Mm.
yesterday, and the digital version yesterday replaced it with the demisexual flag.
Yeah, and I'm so glad they fixed that.
And I wonder if that, I hate to say that, I feel like it was just a mistake, but I wonder if they meant to get one of the ace spectrum flags, which all have black and white on them, and grabbed the straight flag accidentally.
I mean, either way, I think it was definitely an accident.
Yeah.
And then of course, we have the moment with John saying kind of dismissively that Pride, it's been a party for decades. And then we have Damien who
wanting to tear gas rioters.
Yeah, wanting to prevent a Pride riot, specifically like the Stonewall riot. So I think those are the moments that everyone is upset about. And I think those snowballed into a big issue for people, understandably. And I think it's a little disappointing that it's overshadowing the good stuff in the story and the issue in general. I think having this story first really sets the tone, and if it would have fallen somewhere in the middle, maybe it could have been a little bit more overlooked, but the fact that it's right at the beginning, like, I don't know. So those are my thoughts.
It's a bit jarring coming right after what I thought was a really wonderful forward by Nicole Maines.
Yes, I agree.
We're going to talk about it, but the politics of this story of Super Pride kind of, I feel like up at bat is the story. Like, it's like, why does it feel like not the most right story for this particular moment? Like, I think this story could have gone in like Pride Special 2019 or 2020 and like no issues at all. It might just be a victim of the unfortunate time we find ourselves in, but I think it's very easy to find where the politics of this particular story fell a little flat for me, because it's in all the ways that up at bat later on in the issue very strongly did resonate with me.
Yeah. So full disclosure, like, Devin is somebody who we talk to ever since she's been on our show. So I will say that straight up. So I was trying really hard to reserve my judgment until I actually read it. I did not care for any part of the story. I really didn't. It struck me very badly. And it's almost hard for me to explain exactly why. I mean, obviously those points that you're making, both John and Damien do not feel like John and Damien even a little bit in this story. Because what we see in Son of Kal-El is a John that like wraps his arms around protesters and protects them from the police and stands with them and gets arrested. And he's been taught that by his mom. And we have, Superman and Lois are so supportive of his queerness. And what we get in this story is a John who's like, protesting, no, it's just a party. And who's like, I don't know if my dad would be okay with my queerness. He is. He is, actually. We know he is. We've already seen it. And then we have a Damien who's like a caricature from the Morrison era, because he's like, I'm gonna tear gas these people at Pride. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I feel like what this story, because maybe I read a little too deep into Damien's character arc here, and maybe I'm just thinking in the particular world building of the DC universe.
Yeah,
Damien lives in Gotham. Of course, he doesn't trust any parade. No parade has ever gone well in the history of Gotham.
And I think that point later is fine when he is like, did John check to make sure there were no bombs? Did he look in the, I think that reaction was very on point. It was the fact that he seemed to be like, I will tear gas the protesters. If it had started with the John, again, from Son of Kal-El, that was like, I don't mind hitting a police officer if I have to, like, that John would have felt better here. If he was like, I will protect the people in Pride, it would have felt fine.
I first interpreted as him Damien being like, let's fucking start a riot. And then
I really wish that was
That's what I did too.
You do get John's line of like, we're not going to Pride to stop it. And then I was like, oh, I may have misconstrued this.
Right there with you.
I wish that, I mean, to be honest, I would like to, and I hope that we get a chance to talk to Devin to see if there's a different interpretation she meant, because it is possible that none of us know what she was trying to say there. It was confusing. And I'd like to know what the intention was, because it really read bad to me.
Yeah, that moment when I read it, I was same as Ben. I assumed Damien was saying, "Oh, like let's start a riot,"
Which I
and
love.
then we get to. It's very clear though in like the next panel or two that he's saying, "Let's stop this riot," and that's just such a bad moment for the character because the Damien that we have nowadays would be like, let me join in this, like especially
Yes.
when you're
Yeah.
implying that he
Yeah.
read about the Stonewall riots
Yeah.
and understands them and like what they led to, which I'm assuming, like I know the part of the joke here is that Damien doesn't understand,
Yeah.
but still like the Damien that I know would
Yeah.
be like, oh, let me join in and
It-
cause chaos and just have fun.
It reminds me of all the jokes that were going around on Twitter when Tim Drake came out as bisexual and everyone's like, now Damien's gonna have to be homophobic because he hates Tim.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? It's funny because the way that scene was enacted, it was almost like you were meeting, like, say, a data type android character with no real
Yeah.
human side, and he's
Right.
trying to like compute everything in his brain to realize,
Yeah.
well, what does this mean? What does this parade mean and everything, right?
Yeah.
And the humans having to explain it. No, that's not what it means. It's like, no. It's like, this is, why
Yeah.
we're here. This is why we're
Right.
doing this, right? So yeah, it was a little interesting. You're right that it was a little off. I mean, like I said, but that panel though at the end at the kiss,
Yeah.
I think was a beautiful way to end it. I love that. But overall,
The art's
that was-
fantastic.
The art is
The art's on the
fantastic.
book's great.
I
yeah.
love the
Nick,
pride
Nick
flag
Robles does
cape.
the art. The art's jaw-droppingly gorgeous, beginning
Yeah.
to end.
Yeah.
Fantastic art.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I agree with Chris that it feels like a Damien out of the Morrison era
Yeah.
from very
Mm.
early on.
yeah.
So, part of the problem could have just been that Devin isn't as super familiar with
Yeah.
where Damien is these days. And I want to say part of me could buy into that idea
Yeah.
because I feel like the John here is a little inconsistent, like you were saying, with how he's being written too. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
maybe just,
I just,
maybe it was the wrong matchup.
I just
maybe-
I gotta ask DC, did you not have sensitivity readers for this issue? Because
Right.
it feels like the one you should have really had those on.
Right. And
You could
I
get
want to
awkward.
say, I feel like everyone is directing all this hate at Devin Grayson.
Yeah. No.
I don't think, this hate mail, death
No,
threats,
yeah.
horrible.
No, that is so
Um,
beyond inappropriate.
Come on,
that
that
is
sounds awful.
beyond the pale.
She has made mistakes and she's apologized for them. She'll probably apologize for this. She's not perfect, but she's always responsive. But people's immediate response is to remember that she made mistakes 20 years ago and not let her forget them. So
Right.
any misstep she makes, it's like, well,
And I mean, anyone can go listen to our interview with her, and she's
Yeah.
very willing to learn and so
Yeah.
open-minded, lovely, genuine person.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
on top of all that, I wanted to bring up, you brought up sensitivity readers. Like, so many people were involved with making this story, from the editors and beyond. Like, no one caught these things. Like, I don't want to place all the blame here on this one person.
Yeah.
No, I think that's fair. It was messy. It was jarring, especially when we get a Damien in 5 more stories that is so much more himself when Ro and Ted write him. So I did not like it. It is not worth the level of anger we are experiencing on the internet. It's insane, which is frustrating to me because I'd like to have a conversation about this without having to be like, no, everyone calm down.
Yeah. It almost feels like it should have been to where Damien would have inquired as to, well, how did this all begin? How did this, and then go into a little black and white little panel section
Yeah.
talking about that history a little more, right? Maybe more examples. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah. Or even I
something
agree.
simple.
Even him freaking out, and instead of being dismissive of him, or it's like a party, having Jay and John explain to him this stuff is always dangerous because there's hate in the world, but we have to celebrate anyway. That's how we survive. One line fix.
Yeah.
And I do like the idea behind this. I think this part lands completely flat. But the idea of Damien going to research this on his own, to be
it's so
a supportive
cute.
friend, and still trying to be supportive even though he doesn't understand it, I think that's really cute. I just think the execution, and again, these are all easy things that could be fixed. If a line is tweaked or rewritten, so maybe that'll be looked into. but
Yeah, they already fixed the
Yeah.
flag, so you know.
that was pretty quick.
That was fast. It's only been out a few days. I was like, wow, damn. Because I sent the picture to TJ today, and I was
bring
like,
out the gay elves, and they get to work in the shop, and
yeah, I sent the screenshot to TJ, and I was like, that's not the straight flag. That's the demisexual flag. And he's like, it's not the flag it was when I opened it.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I had to pull up a Google image just to be sure,
interesting.
but it is replaced
It
in
is
the.
gone.
Were you using like the streamable version? Chris?
It was Comixology, so it was the downloaded
Right.
version.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah. So it's already fixed digitally.
I liked
Cool.
the part too where it showed the social media of all the superheroes joining in at
How did I
Pride.
not know that Brainiac 5 was demisexual? This blew my
Right?
mind.
I feel like that had to have been
Oh.
established in this story because was Dawnstar bisexual before this?
I
Oh, no.
don't know. I don't know.
And this was our first Dreamer appearance in like
Yeah.
mainstream canon continuity.
yeah, Dreamer. I definitely wrote in all caps in my notes.
was-
Brainiac 5 Demi.
Yeah. What was that character introduced? Was it Supergirl? Was it that character? Or I'm
Yeah,
trying to
she
Dreamer.
was introduced in the Supergirl TV show.
Dreamer was.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
She was in a story last year in the anthology, but it was
Yeah.
set in the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
So this is like her first appearance in mainstream canon.
Yeah.
Cool.
But then she should be appearing for realsies in the Superman Son of Kal-El next month. So that'll be really fun too.
So excited.
That'll be
Yeah.
great.
Such a great series.
Yes. Should we talk about wrestling lesbians now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Sure.
I was like, Ben
Yes.
is ready for this one.
I feel like I had a lot to
This
say on the
story
last
was
one.
this story was. I mean, I don't really have much in the way of politics, like other than this was just so much fun. This was a blast of a story.
I know nothing about these characters, so I was just here for the ride, and I
Oh.
enjoyed myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
I always enjoy anytime a modern series does like, hey, we're gonna show you like this in-between story that happened
too.
in a story that's still in continuity, but it happened like 40 years ago. So we're gonna do like some real fun retroness to it. Like, I don't know, like just like again, just the women wrestling, that was all for a great, wonderful cause. Like it was warm, it was loving, it was fun. It was just a blast of a story to read.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I love them screaming suffering Sappho as their curse word. Like that is what I'll be using all Pride Month. Thank you very much.
Anytime we get more Big Barda in comics,
I agree.
I think that's a win.
I know. I love it. I love that she does a charity lesbian wrestling ring.
It's
Amazing.
fantastic.
Right.
Like
Right.
it.
The only thing better is if she did like roller derby.
Like
Exactly.
I feel weird
Yeah.
saying this
Yeah.
because who am I to turn down like kissing Amazons? But I almost am like, I don't even need the framing device. Just give me give me 2 more pages of like fun retro wrestling.
Yeah, just some time ago.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
that's
yeah.
like absolute blast.
The art was so good, and like there were a few lines
Yes.
that really made me chuckle, and
Mhm.
just the intimacy between these two.
Mhm.
Like
Great.
I was
Yeah.
here for this. Like
I
this
w-
really encouraged me to maybe
I-
look into them.
Definitely want
Yeah.
to give big credit to the artist colorist team of
Yes.
Megan Hetrick and Marissa Louise, who I
Mm.
think, especially just capturing a vibe that was very intrinsically retro,
Mhm.
yet still fun, yet still so fun and colorful. Like,
Yeah.
just again, a wonderful looking story.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Marissa's lovely.
I'm just happy to see Big Barda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love her. Oh my god.
It's just a lot
Again,
of fun.
like, I guess if I could make like one. If I could make one change, I'm like, damn, I wish like Mr. Miracle had been in the audience with like
Oh.
a sign just simping for his wife.
yeah, totally. Oh my
Was
god.
I the only one that for a second there was like, is Big Barda the relationship with Nubia? What's happening?
I was wondering, so yeah.
No, sadly, but I was
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
wonder.
That's like, look, I'm always for everyone being queer every which way, but I feel like
Mhm.
Big Barda and Mr. Miracle is
Oh,
one
yeah.
of my like unbreakable
Oh,
ships.
they are forever, but who's to say they don't open their relationship once in a while?
Maybe
There you
next
go.
anthology we'll get another flashback, and it'll be Big Barda and Nubia hooking up.
Yeah, it's her
The best.
the wrestling was her queer awakening.
There you go. There you
She's
go.
like, this awakened something in me.
Now I'm thinking that like going forward, like they need to have a accompanying CD called Suffering Sappho, and it's just nothing but two
Yes.
women singing on it.
Please.
It would be pretty cool.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes, please. DC, do it. We need an official DC Pride playlist. That's what we need.
There you go. There you go.
That's actually a good idea. I might look into that.
Guarantee you that Stronger by Christina Aguilera is going to end up on that playlist.
Wow.
Oh.
All right, can we please talk about the next one?
Yes, this is one of the
Oh
best ones.
I know. This is maybe my favorite in the whole thing. Oh my God.
Think of
Connor
me.
Hawke.
This was so good. I think my first note I have is like the writing and the art is just on another level. And like Ted and Roe were so good last year,
I know.
but
they're the
this
best.
year you can just tell that they were on another level working on this, and it shows. It is
Yeah.
so good.
This is the only one where I wrote down actual quotes because there were lines in it that I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Like because when the noise is everywhere, it can be hard to hear the silence in yourself. Like, oh my God, I have shivers.
I thought you were going to say cloves because I love this Connor
true.
Hawke design.
It's so good, right?
The fabric, the flapping of like the orange overshirt over the body armor.
Yes.
It's so like the art in this is so strong. Like
Yeah.
the writing is so emotional and poignant,
Mhm.
but as just superhero action, the art is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like,
This is how you do ace representation. I was like crying reading this.
Like
Aw.
I need these two writing and drawing like a
yes.
Green Arrow series now.
Please.
Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
is so good. Like I
So
need
good.
so much more of them doing like action and costumes and like fun
Yeah.
lettering and designs and just like it's so good. Like I need them
Yeah.
doing more.
Did
Yeah.
anyone also catch that Connor is talking about he wants to have a romantic relationship and he uses gender neutral pronouns the whole time? He's like, I want to share myself with them.
Yeah.
Just
Oh yeah, totally
Yeah.
bi-romantic.
love
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I took
loved
that
it,
as he is
though.
only interested in non-binary people.
Yeah.
I, you
Nobody
know what?
else.
I
There you
support
go.
either way.
Well, it's great because it's got all the elements of why we love comic books, right? Got the hero, he's going to catch a baddie, and all the while we're getting through the story, we're learning more about this particular character. And to me, the reveal at the end, once I started realizing what was happening and then the reveal came, I mean, I was just so happy. I was like,
Yeah.
this is awesome. This is like a perfect example of what needs to be in these books, right?
Absolutely.
And just to give ace people a bigger voice is so
Yeah.
huge. And so
Yeah.
right away, right when I read it, I was like, I love this. This
Yeah.
is very well done. Yeah.
Last year, our ace representation was one character in the background of a scene seen through an armpit. So we really moved up
Got
significantly.
relegated to an
upgrade.
armpit.
Big upgrade.
Like I feel like we were pretty vocal last year about the
Yeah.
lack of asexual rep, and
Yeah.
whether or not they were listening, it feels like DC was listening.
It does.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's appreciated.
They came through
Also,
big.
we cannot move past this story without acknowledging that Oliver Queen is a cringy dad.
Oh yeah, that checks out. 10
I
out of
was
10.
so
That checks
funny.
out.
I was like, yes, yes,
Aw.
he is. He's embarrassing to be around. That's
Oh
We
yeah,
have to
no,
talk
Ollie would
about-
be the most cringe of dads.
oh, so cringe.
The Music Meister.
I love it.
This was
Darren
like
Chris,
Funville.
you're in here.
Yeah, I think
I
this
mean,
was
I
his
love-
first like comic appearance.
Yeah.
That
was
feels
fun.
like such good superhero imagery,
Yeah.
like
Yes.
literalness that I love in superhero comics. That he's talking about
Yeah.
like comparing asexuality to silence among the
Mhm.
noise while fighting Music Meister.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
golden,
Well, he has
golden.
his earphones in, so he can't hear anything. So he's silence among the. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
It was
Also-
brilliant.
to quote George Lucas, it's poetry. It rhymes.
Indeed.
It is also Davy and Wayne, excellent friend story. Like,
Oh yeah.
he is being perfect in this one. Like
Yeah,
truly. They are so cute. I really do enjoy their friendship together.
I
But him
do
just being
love
supportive and I
The
love it.
Robin series, the current
Yeah.
Robin series.
I
And
do
I love
too.
it. They're like,
So
oh,
good.
Damian can't have a regular Teen Titans team. He
No.
needs a team full of like equally fucked up. Like he needs Damien. He needs Damien and the Junior Outsiders.
He really does, and it's perfect for him. Oh, it was so fun. I love him being like, I support you as somebody who also has a fucked up relationship with their mom. I get it.
I have to say, I'm predicting right now, within the next 10 years, Damien's gonna be on the ace spectrum and he's gonna be like biromantic.
So I really wondered if that's where they were going with him as Ace, pretty much up until actually the current Robin series where they gave him his first real love interest.
Yeah.
There was some flash forward at some point I was reading about, and there was a line that people were interpreting as Damien being Ace.
Yeah.
But you know,
especially in the future, he feels very much like the less sexual interpretations of Bruce Wayne.
Right.
Except he has the literalness of just like, my sexuality is deal with devil for justice.
Yeah, my sexuality is justice.
Is justice with side of devil.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying he appeared twice in the Pride issue. I'm just saying at some point, like he's gonna be gay.
He needs his own Connor. Tim already has one, so now we have Connor Hawk.
Oh yeah,
And
that's fair.
Damien. I'm here for it.
I could see it. I mean, I will always be a Damien John shipper.
Oh
but,
yeah.
You know,
When John gets aged down,
right? When they're eventually the same age and it's not illegal. Look, he can get aged up. I mean, he can just wait for the Wayne family aging shrink to happen. That happens with every character where they slowly get closer in age to Bruce Wayne.
Again, just reiterating, like this is. Again, like I'm just looking where it's Connor like doing this backflip dodge over a music meister's swirling music notes. I'm like, this art is fucking
It's
great.
the greatest thing. It is the greatest thing.
I'll just add that we're going to be talking to Ted and Ro shortly about this story, Chris. And I can't wait to just geek out and really pick their brains about it.
I'm excited to tell them how much I love them.
I think this is a really special story. Can't wait.
And then, and you can tell like how truly heartfelt and real it is.
Yeah.
And then, then after that, we get our first pinup, which is a Shining Knight, some non-binary rep for me,
and tarot card.
Yes, and tarot card, and it's
really
done
like
as a tarot card, which is real cool.
I would absolutely kill for an actual like DC Pride tarot set. That would be incredible.
Oh yeah.
Somebody make it. Somebody do it.
This one is The Shining Knight is by P. Craig Russell with Laverne Kinderziski.
Mm-hmm. We were saying before we started recording that there's only 3 pinups, I believe, unless I missed one.
Yes, Shining Knight, Ghostmaker, and Galaxy and Dreamer.
Yes, they're great. They're solid. Do we miss the pinups? Are we glad there wasn't more? How are we feeling?
I mean, the pinups are fun, but I feel like the stories already need like every page they can get.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather the stories have as much room to breathe as they can get rather than a few more pinups.
I feel that way too.
And I know they released like a DC Pride poster collection.
Ooh.
And it was all of the pinups from last year.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm wondering if it didn't sell very well. So maybe they're like, well, let's cut back on the pinups.
Oh, maybe.
That's just my theory. But I'm fine with more story and less pinups.
Yeah, my struggle with the pinups is that I kept wanting them to be a story and then flipping the next page and being like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So next up, we have
our girl. It's Jadzia. I am so proud of our girl. I really am. Oh my God. This story was great.
Jadzia, you killed it. I just did a poll on Twitter that was like, all right, what's your favorite story from this issue? Just, going off of the ones that I saw people talking about and really loving and getting to name this one specifically in there. I was like, oh, you did it. People love it.
You did it. We're proud of you, girl. It's so
a really good story.
I really like this story. I especially really like, its message, its politics, its themes, what it's saying about the times we're in. I personally felt a little held back by I haven't read Gail Simone's Batgirl run. So this is actually kind of my first Alicia Yo story.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome story, but I don't think it really reads necessarily. Not necessarily that it does. Like it gives you a perfect introduction. It gives you everything you need to know about the character. But I just feel like God, if I had read that full run, my emotional investment would be
Yeah.
like that much higher, rather than like I'm meeting this character for essentially the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was
I
the first-
wouldn't. Sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say it's the first time I was reading this character too, and it still hit me pretty hard, if I'm totally honest.
It's a
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah.
It's a great job. I was just thinking, like, God, if I had like that 36 issues or
Yeah,
however many
fair.
issues of like
Yeah.
already knowing that character, like how much more harder would it be hitting me?
Yeah.
Because it's already hitting hard and it's already reading so well.
Yeah.
How much harder and would it be if I like had the full context of this character?
Guess you're gonna have to go read all of 36
guess so.
issues.
Yes. But I do love, again, I mean, it's nice though, if you don't know these characters and you read this, it's the perfect way to get you down that rabbit hole. Go out and
Yeah.
seek the issues, and you may have a whole new character that you love and you're going to want to see going forward. So
Yeah.
Oh,
I-
totally.
When this
Again, like,
story got
It's a great
announced,
intro for the character.
I went back and I read the first Gail Simone Batgirl volume just to
Yeah.
try to
yeah.
get into be prepared for this one, I guess is what I'm saying. And I couldn't really get into it. And like
Oh.
Alicia pops up and she's there and I got to meet her. But I'm sure she gets fleshed out more in the following issues. But part of me is guessing, and from what I've seen people say, is that this story really fleshes her out in a way that nothing has done before.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah.
I feel like this might be the best place to start because you're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
walk away invested in her after these 8 pages.
And I definitely do.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely invested in this character. Like, this is like, again, she gets a great new design. Like,
Mhm.
I love her voice. And again, this is a story where the politics of the moment
Yeah.
resonate very strongly.
I agree. I think there's something really powerful to this as a superhero kind of re-origin story, I guess, with her having this absolute exhaustion of working in the field of social justice. And it's always the same. I've gone to this conference, it's the same every year, and I've been going for 5 years. And what is the point? I guess you just keep fighting. And then for her to go, you know what, this is why I become a superhero, because I'm done fighting the same battle. I'm going to fight a new one, is so strong. Like that is what a superhero should be.
Question for the panel of experts.
Yeah.
When did it become that like Killer Moth kind of specifically became a Batgirl villain? Was that like Batgirl year one that started that trend, and then
know.
it's been like sticking ever since?
I know
couldn't
he's gonna
tell
be
ya.
in her movie as
Yeah,
like
he's the main villain of the movie.
Oh, nice.
So I
Yeah, I
didn't know
couldn't
if
tell
maybe
ya.
this was like a shout out to that.
Well, I think
But I don't
it's
know.
because Killer Moth is the villain of Batgirl year one,
Oh, maybe
Oh,
so
okay.
then.
and
I
I
haven't
think
read that yet.
that might be what's like. I think that may have established that, and maybe that's what's carried it forward. But like, I feel like I see Killer Moth fight Batgirl way more than I see Killer Moth fight Batman
That's
nowadays.
fair. That's fair.
Just wait for that
TJ,
movie to
okay.
come out.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Fucking Brendan Fraser, hell yeah!
Oh my
Yep.
God, yes.
If it's as good as the first episode of Miss Marvel was, I'm on board.
Oh, totally. Yes.
1000%.
By the way, Tisha, I have something for you. That one panel. Please, I'm a trans woman in Gotham. Of course, I have a weapon. Very Sidney Prescott and Scream
that.
5.
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. Oh my God.
I can tell you right now. You talk about this as an introduction. This was like the moment that where I'm like, okay, I haven't read this character before, but I love her now.
Yes.
Like that was
Also-
it. That was the moment
Yeah.
that I'm like, I'm a fan of this character.
I
Like,
love that we're
when
talking.
she shows up in future stories, I'm gonna be excited.
I know. I love that we're talking about a trans woman in the Bat family who has a trans bat. I'm like, I love
Right?
this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I see what you
Seriously.
did, and I
So
love it.
like, take that, Batman. You don't have that on your utility belt, so
Just like the story before this
I
one.
absolutely believe Batman has a trans flag on his utility belt. You never know when he's gonna need it.
He
He's
has like a
supportive.
full one of his pockets is all just the various identity flags for any
There you
occasion,
go.
or like
There
a
you go.
button that he can put on for which kid he's talking to. Because let's be honest, they're all gay.
yes.
He has to change them out.
He has to switch.
Everyone asks Batman what his sexuality flag is. He just pulls out an all black. Your black
Justice.
flag.
It's just justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many good lines in this
Yeah.
story, just like the one before it. Like
Yeah.
they really just feel like the narrative is so tight and the narration The internal monologue is so good. And then when you get that line, I'm a trans girl in Gotham, of course I have a bat or a weapon. Sorry, like
Yeah.
just so iconic. Like
Can we also
so
talk
good.
about when we're talking about Bat family members they might be implying are gay in this? I love when she's like, "Hey, Batgirl, if you ever want to talk about anything, I'm great with coming outs." And I was like,
Yes.
Oh, it's so cute.
Well,
Like-
I interpreted that as just the classic like secret identity thing.
Me too,
with the
but I feel like
imagery.
you could read
No.
into that
Especially-
double meaning.
I know that, but they've just put so much into the like. I almost said like Dick Gordon and Barbara Grayson. Like they put that much into it that I'm mixing
No,
up their names.
I am telling you, that was intentional, I think, from Jadzia. Whether it ever goes anywhere, I think our girl did that.
Well, and
on purpose.
Alicia is married, as Jadzia will remind us.
They don't have to be together.
Okay.
I think it was a double entendre, like
Yeah.
a wink, wink. We all know that everyone in the Bat family is queer. Wink, wink.
I kind of read into that moment too when she's like, "Oh, your mask doesn't hide as much
Yeah,
as
it
you
was-
think." Like, part of me was kind of reading into like a Jim Gordon aspect where like,
Yeah.
"Oh, she definitely knows this is Barbara, but
Yeah.
she's pretending that she doesn't know, and she's giving her the chance to come out to her as Barbara." Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know. I kind of want to, when we talk to Jadzia, ask her about that
Yeah.
specifically. I want to know if that was intentional because I
Yeah.
thought that was really good.
I had the same interpretation you did, TJ.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then she calls herself Bat Girl because she has a bat.
I know.
Nice.
So,
Puns.
like, let her
Puns.
join the Batgirls title, please.
There you go. There you
Oh
go.
my God.
A distinction
yes.
that can only work on the printed page.
Right.
As soon as you start doing that into like, oh, here's Batgirl, but with a hyphen. You got to figure out how to pronounce the hyphen.
Bat girl.
There
Not
you
Bat
go.
girl. Bat girl.
Girl. There you go.
Just stopping every fight to like clarify that.
Yeah.
I
I
feel
thought
like
this-
Peter Parker can tell when people don't pronounce Spider-Man with the hyphen.
Yeah. Yeah. He
I
can.
thought this story did a really good job of adding to the world building that's already been established, like this convention that she's going to. Like, I
Yeah.
read that and I was like, oh, like this makes Gotham feel so much more real to me.
Yeah.
And like, I know we're gonna have straight people that are like, this is so forced, blah blah blah. And to me, though, I'm like, no, this makes Gotham.
It's a
feel more
convention. None of
real.
them are naturally occurring.
Right?
Well, there's
Like,
that.
no.
Yes.
Queer people exist. So seeing this mentioned, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, Gotham is like where I live. But
Yeah.
not really, because people aren't getting murdered as much. But
Thank God.
it does have a pretty decent amount of gays, though. Apparently,
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yep. Well, like we've said, everyone in the Bat family is at least some type of gay.
Yeah, all the villains and all the Robins.
Yeah, all the villains and all the Robins. You're not wrong. Oh, next up we got Jackson Hyde.
I really enjoyed this story a lot.
I did too.
I enjoyed, and again, as fun as all the superhero fights have been, I'm just, this is purely just my own little personal taste as a reader.
Mhm.
I'm not a super huge fan on a lot of first person caption boxes.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed how the GLAAD story, or I'm sorry, Aquaman, because he's Aquaman now, how the
Yes.
Watch
Jackson
your
Hyde
mouth.
story. I really enjoyed how it really just like slowed down. Didn't like I've enjoyed how it let itself be a romantic, emotional scene without needing to throw in all the superhero
Yeah.
fisticuffs.
I
Which
Yeah.
yeah, is super fun and as exciting as
Yeah.
they've been. Like, I don't know. I just like that this story amongst the action
Yeah.
just really let itself be something that just, again, just slowed down,
Yeah.
breathed, and just put us in the moment of the emotion. Like, I think just with, and again, this is just me being a little fucking ornery theory of comic books and stuff like that. I think there's certain elements of first person caption boxes that even compared to say thought balloons,
Mhm.
I think it removes you from the immediacy of the action a little bit.
Mhm.
So I did feel myself a little more sucked into the world, into like the world and the moment of this Aquaman story when It was all expressed through dialogue and body language and like
Mhm.
character interaction. Like it felt a little more, I guess immersive would be the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got to love how classically queer this date was. They start off by talking about dead poets and they end by trauma bonding.
Yes, yes. I love the art in this because it's all
Yeah.
got a very dreamlike quality through the whole
Yeah.
thing. But I also noticed that it's also more like that when they're underwater.
Yes.
It almost seems like
Ooh.
the ideal dream setting, right?
Yeah.
That is where he seems to be much more comfortable now that he's getting to know himself and he's allowing himself to be part of this, a part of himself that he always wanted to get to know more, right? And we see why things turned out the way they did. And it looks a little more real looking when we're on land and we get back to his home, and obviously it's
Yeah.
all dry, and you get the full story of the upbringing and not wanting him to be in danger. And I understand that and everything, but then it all just kind of comes together. It's like, now you have this whole new life, and there's a whole world of opportunity for you, and you met your boyfriend and his family really
Yeah.
likes you. It's like this
Yeah.
is it's a great story. But I love that. I love that. Again, the whole dreamlike quality of it. I think the panels are very, very beautiful.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do resent this comic a little bit for making me real hungry for huevos rancheros.
Made you
Okay.
hungry?
Same though. I
I
was
want
like,
to go to that diner.
I was like, I also want to order that.
I do
Favorite
feel like
meals.
as much as, again, we were talking about introductory characters versus reading a lot, like again, Up at Bat is now officially and forever the comic that made me fall in love with Alicia Yo.
Mhm.
I've been reading Jackson Hyde nearly every issue since he first debuted, like all the way back in Brightest Day. So also seeing like, God, if the emotion of this scene, like with this character I followed for years, just didn't like,
Yeah,
it was just like, and again, the dreamlike quality of the art, like,
I agree.
Yeah.
God, if this wasn't just like feels, just
Yeah.
nonstop feels, like
In
the
the-
warm, gooey feels.
In the best way, in the absolute best way, this felt the most like a YA like novel. Like it was this cute first date, and then they're getting into
Yeah.
backstory. There's the like
DC Heartstopper.
the little pinky hold they have. My favorite moment when he like the boyfriend shows up kind of late and he's like, sorry, I was off in this fight, and he just goes, that's hot.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's just, I don't know, it was just really, yes, DC Heartstoppers. It was really
I do love
charming.
it. It was specifically, the monster was feral abyssal seahorses,
That's right. It goes
which
that
is
far.
pretty great.
Very specific. Yes.
It was so good.
I agree with
Like,
everything. that
sometimes you just
you all
got like
said.
overrun by 30 to 50 feral abyssal seahorses.
Sometimes.
Yeah, the art's great. The metaphor of the water underwater being so beautiful and then going up to land and it's so dry, and just the writing there of Jackson's powers manifesting, lining up with his sexuality awakening, like that was done so well. And as Ben was saying, I wanted to come back to that. I also am not a big fan of a lot of thought bubbles, because that can kind of make me feel like, no, I want to get back to the action. And but with this one and the previous two stories, I thought they did that very well, but it almost made them feel a little overstuffed, even though they're perfect, like they're great. This one, I agree. I felt like these 8 pages, I felt like they were lasting longer.
I did too. It was a bigger story.
Right. But they were the same amount of pages.
I
So
know.
like
It was
it
really
almost felt
impressive.
like this one made better use of showing, like I don't know how
No,
to
I
explain
agree.
it.
It made more use of the pages it had than many of the
Yeah.
stories.
Okay.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree.
And it didn't try to include too much. Like we didn't need those thought bubbles. So yeah,
And
this one worked very well.
And maybe this is effective, putting a little more on emotion and like kind of than just like the action and stuff. I thought this book did such a great job at delivering these quiet moments that are really beautiful, but like I lingered on them.
Yes.
Like I spent a while just
Yeah.
like them on the swings.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
Like just like the big panel of just them driving down like the winding New Mexico, and you
Yeah.
just take in like the vastness of the desert.
Yeah.
Like I found myself just like lingering in the time I knew these characters were spending.
Yeah.
This story is, I think, what we wanted from the Aquaman The Becoming
I agree.
series, Chris. Like,
I agree.
so this really, and with the Tim Drake story later, I feel like this story gave me what I was wanting. So it made me enjoy this all the more.
Yeah. Oh, full-heartedly. Like as listeners will know, we had some mixed feelings about Aquaman The Becoming, but like if it had been this, 100%.
Yeah. Or what it was, and a little bit smidge more of this.
Yeah,
than
make it
even
gayer.
then.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah, like give me the romance. My two nitpicks with the story. So I feel like Hawei has really been shown to be a bigger guy. Like in The Becoming, he had a gut, he had a belly. In this, I feel like he got a little slimmed down. Like, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I felt like maybe that was something they should have tried to keep in.
I thought they both were too, which I thought was a little odd because even Aquaman was a little bit like, he was like kind of a twink.
Yep.
He's a little twinkier in this.
He was more of a twunk in The Becoming.
He's gone from twunk to twink.
Yeah.
But this was pre-workout. He hadn't started CrossFit yet.
Right.
All around a
Haweii's been
softer
working out
version,
too.
right? Just a little bit more softer version. So.
And then when they kiss at the end,
that kiss.
I loved it, but I was reading it and I was like, how are they kissing? They were pretty far apart. They have a table between them. Are they leaning over that table? I was like, and then I go back and like, they're pretty far apart.
Yeah,
I know. And again, it's
have
like,
you never seen people kissing over like?
I was gonna say.
Fucking teenagers kissing at a diner.
I know you dated people at diners, TJ. You gonna tell me you never got in there?
That's pretty uncomfortable.
Hey,
then I was like,
look.
well, they had to kiss and they were at a table. Okay.
Also, look at this kiss. This is not passionate embrace. Like, this is a peck on the lips, what they're doing here.
There
Like,
you go.
this is a mwah, and then they're back to their huevos rancheros.
I was just going to say, at that moment, huevos rancheros be damned, but, you know, the kiss was important. So.
Look, somebody definitely has huevos rancheros on their shirt now, but it was worth it.
Better than on their face. So.
Yeah, exactly. So next up, we got a noir story with our Green Lantern Joe from Far Sector. Did anyone read Far Sector?
I did, and I love Far Sector.
I love Far Sector too.
I'm a big Green Lantern fan, and Far Sector was great. And a big thing that I enjoyed about this was just going back to the city enduring.
Yeah,
it's a great setting that was fleshed out so well in Far Sector, and it's really nice just seeing like Kahn has again.
Yeah. I agree. I thought not much happened in this story, though.
No. But it did go a long way to get to the, hey, we saw you from across the room, we like your vibe moment. So,
that is true, you know?
That's really what it was. It was just the sci-fi version of we like your vibe.
It was also I don't know, it was a little bit thin, the like bisexuals are indecisive, how can you be a Green Lantern, which was just kind of sorry.
Also, it's a real like really plant aliens have the
a little bit.
Plant aliens have the exact same biphobic stereotypes we do.
What are the odds?
What I kind of loved about the Aquaman story was it's like, hey, here's a totally different world, so we have murders and stuff, but not homophobia. You know, and then we get to this, we're like, hey, this is a whole different world. But we still have the exact biphobic stereotypes as everywhere else. I was like, but why though?
Well, I like that. Well, and this I really enjoyed Far Sector's approach to Joe being bi, where like, you know, they expressed it clearly and consistently, but they were also like, we're in a sexy sci-fi political thriller, so let's give her some like sexy, untrustworthy people to bounce off of.
Give her some femme fatales, you know?
Yeah, like, and I kind of enjoyed like that element of the story where it's just like, hell yeah, Joe Mullen in like a sexy, like queer noir story. Like,
I do agree.
Like, she's a femme fatale. She's dealing with femme fatales. She's got himbo fatales. Like,
himbo fatales is that's my new bio. I'm a himbo fatale.
Like, I've never read anything with this character before.
Far Sector. It's so
and like
good.
This setting, like I could tell this was something from another run or established somewhere else, because this seemed like a really intricate society.
Very
but
much
I
so.
didn't know it before.
You have to read Far Sector is so wildly.
It's also
good.
pretty
Right.
short, so you could. It's like a quick read. It's like
It's
11
12
issues.
issues.
Yeah, 12.
So looking at
It was
this,
a maxi series.
It's not a good. This is not a good intro. Is we're
right.
talking about.
So I
that.
was kind of
Okay.
lost here, but I could appreciate the noir aspect of it. Like I
Well,
thought
Same.
the use of being
especially
black and
because-
white was so
Yeah.
good.
This isn't like the Alicia Yo or Connor
Mm-mm.
Hawk
Mm-mm.
story where you are getting introduced, where like even if this is your first time with this
Yeah.
character, you are getting introduced to a very quintessential classic version of
Yeah.
this character.
Yeah.
You're getting this character doing her version of a holodeck episode.
Oh my God, you are so right.
That's
Oh my God, you're right. Hold on, I'm gonna step back and think about this. This is the holodeck episodes of Star Trek
that is
TNG.
too funny.
Like you're
Oh.
not getting Joe Mullen, you're getting Joe Mullen pretending to be she's in a noir movie.
Yeah. Oh my
Which is
God,
Yeah.
you're
very
right.
fun, but
It's cute.
I can totally imagine like if this is your first like
Yeah.
exposure to the character, it's I can
Yeah.
imagine it being hard to like
Connect
really
with.
grasp onto her.
Yeah. I could
Yeah.
see many of these being like a great place for people to be like, I want to learn about this character. I see this one being one people that
It
don't know what to
is.
skip, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Th-
And I love
that-
Tiny Howard's great, but
Yeah. No, I agree. It was beautiful. I just think it was
I love the
not a great
coloring though. I love the black and white and
Yes.
green.
yeah, the
Ah,
green
my God,
use
yes.
is good.
that-
my
what
God,
did you
yes.
just say to me panel? I think is the most beautiful one, and how it
Yes.
uses all those
Yeah.
colors. I was just like, look at it, it's so striking, right? I
yeah.
would just love to have
Oh,
that one
yeah.
panel just on my
Yeah.
wall. That would be
Yeah.
great.
I felt
I
like that
agree.
was the strongest part of the story was the use
It
of
was.
color.
I
Mhm.
agree. I
It's
agree.
good.
1000%.
But Tiny Howard, go check out her Catwoman run
Mhm.
right now. Super by Catwoman. I love it.
Yay, bye Catwoman.
Well, should there be any other kind? I mean, come on.
No, no.
No.
All other kinds are irrelevant at this point. Now we've got the Ray.
It
Who
was
has strong the
definitely-
Ray feelings?
I definitely was like, oh shit, am I back in 2018?
From Arrow.
Is DCU back on?
Oh my God.
DCYOU?
Oh my
Hell
God.
yeah.
Remember that? Remember?
I'm like, oh, this was a fun this was a blast from the past, just continuity wise, but this
Yeah.
was a fun team. Like Adam,
cute.
Ray, Vixen, Killer Frost. I think wasn't
Black
Lobo on this
Canary.
team?
Was he? Oh my God.
I think
maybe.
Lobo was on this team.
Black Canary and Batman show up at one point.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was real wild. Was I like Ben? I'm looking directly at you in this moment. Was I the only one that was waiting for Commander Cole to show up and kiss Ray, his husband? Because
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I was like so sad that that's
I'm like,
not
where
real.
is
That's
alternate
only-
universe Wentworth Miller?
I
This
know,
guy
that's-
doesn't look anything like Wentworth Miller.
I'm
Yeah, okay.
sad that exists in 2 episodes of Flash and nowhere else, but I will be
Does-
forever obsessed.
Did anyone know who this guy was?
No,
The
I have
boyfriend?
no idea. I have no idea.
No,
who that is.
no, but I like
No,
his
I
haircut
didn't-
because I used
again,
to
like-
cut my hair the same way. So
Yes, it would look good on you. Yes.
Okay, good.
Um,
I was like, I
know.
don't know who you are, but this is very cute. I was here for it.
Hey DC, if you're actually listening, let's just throw this out there. You need to put those helpful little character name bubbles that you used to do in like Batman Eternal in your Pride special, because some people are not going to know them and they'll get a chance to. Remember how in Batman Eternal, it'd be like Tim Drake, third Robin, best detective. Okay, I didn't say that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
For even characters that everyone should know, and this they're just like, figure it out. Good luck.
So there's a story later on that I think does a really good job of introducing you to a lot of new characters really
I
quickly,
agree.
and it's all very clear who they are and what their deal is. And
Yes.
I think it's kind of we'll talk about it later on, but I
Yeah.
think it's kind of a masterclass in
Yeah.
economical storytelling, where a
Yeah.
lot of really good storytelling is done in the pages they have.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one was more like a Where's Waldo of like, oh, I know that character. I know that character. Couldn't tell you who that is. No idea.
I enjoyed this one though.
I
Like,
did too. No, I did
I don't
too.
know a lot about the Ray outside of the DC TV shows, but I thought the art here was beautiful. I really liked the story of like not being comfortable with PDA because
Yeah.
like I was there, so I related to
Yeah.
that of accepting yourself, and then even once you have, like, you still need to kind of overcome
Yeah.
that PDA level of being yourself. So I thought that was a really good thing to touch on here.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
really love the Justice League described as found family, where he's talking about like my family didn't accept
Yes.
me, but the Justice League did, and I was like,
Mhm.
that's what we want.
Exactly.
I always enjoy when a queer story explores aspects of
Hmm.
queerness aside from just the coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that there isn't space for the
Absolutely.
not there isn't space for coming out stories. There will always be space for coming out stories.
Yeah.
But queer life is such a
Yeah.
very big, complicated thing. You don't want to just make it seem like,
No.
oh, there's a before and then there's an after, and that's the only thing worth exploring.
I mean, this issue has exactly one coming out story, right? It's just Connor Hawk. Everything else is a queer at a different point of your life story,
Yeah.
which I
Well,
really like.
and Tim Drake a little bit.
He came out
I'm
in
just
no,
kidding.
he came
I'm
out in a
kidding.
whole other issue. This one, he's just struggling to hold hands. Give him a break. That's his whole deal.
Okay, we're still waiting on the Tim coming out. No, I'm kidding. I
We'll get
forgot
to that one. We'll get to that one.
Look, I think
Uh,
now we have the story about the real main character in every queer person's life, their straight dad.
Okay, okay. It was
No,
only
this
4
is a very
pages.
enjoyable story. I just had that came up with that
No,
joke,
you're
and I'm like,
fair.
I gotta use it.
Before we
Yeah.
get
Though.
there, can we talk about how the Ray story ends with the dirty dancing lift, though?
That was cute.
He's just like,
does.
"Let's kiss."
Oh jeez.
So casually that Batman's sitting there being accepting his more queer sons into his life. He went from collecting orphans to collecting gays, and I just needed to point that out.
There you go.
Also,
Yes.
Also, I'll take any mainstream appearances of Ryan Choi and Vixen that we can get.
I agree. Vixen, go read the webtoon. It's so good. I love Vixen's
it's
webtoon.
on my list.
It's so good. Yes, okay. But now let's get into one of the stories I enjoyed the least.
Same.
Like, it wasn't bad, and Stephanie Phillips Harley Quinn one right now is
I love her. Yeah.
and she's wonderful, yes. But this one, I was like, why did we center a story on a straight white dude?
Mhm.
Like, and I understand the importance of showing a parent with unconditional love, but
Yeah.
part of me was like, we could have had this from Kate's point of view.
Also, do we forget that this is the dad that periodically like nukes small countries? Like, I don't know.
Does do that.
I don't know how I feel about him being our,
Like,
accepting dad of the issue.
Jacob Kane, like, also, it's not like Jacob Kane as a character went through an arc in that particular way. Like the comic even shows that he immediately accepted Kate's sexuality. Like,
Yeah.
was like, you're honorable and I'm proud of you. I love my gay daughter.
Yeah.
So, like,
That
I
was
don't-
cute. Like,
It was.
was
Oh, it's
cute.
one of my again like that moment in Detective Comics, like way back when Batwoman Elegy.
Yes.
Which again, if you've never read Batwoman Elegy,
Yeah.
one of the greatest superhero comics
What-
of
our-
all time.
The first appearance of Jadzia on our show was reading that. So go back and watch that
Incredible.
episode.
In one of literally one of the greatest DC
Yeah.
comics ever made, Batwoman
agree.
Elegy. And it's an incredible moment. But I'm just reading this and I'm just kind of like, you want a fucking cookie, Jacob?
Jacob Kane, the one who abandoned his nephew to be raised in, his dead brother's or his dead sister's house, right? I
The
can't remember.
butler's got this.
Yeah. Sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry your parents are dead. Anyway, bye. Never coming back into your life.
yeah.
Also, the theme of the story is how Jacob Kane is now a better person. And again, the country that he nuked.
He's like, look, I may commit genocide, but I am not homophobic.
I was just gonna say, it's like, yeah,
Him and Dick Cheney just get together and swap notes.
Like, this story just seemed a little out of place in terms of the lineup.
Yeah.
Strange.
And it
They
said
were-
this was a Batwoman story, and I'm like, no, it
Mhm.
wasn't. This
No, it
was
wasn't.
not a Batwoman story.
No.
it's
I wanted
important.
to like it. I
Me
wanted to
too.
like it. And that's what makes it so disappointing. It's like I got to the end, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's important to represent minorities like straight people.
Yeah, it was a decision.
Even
I-
the murderous ones, okay.
God. Oh my
Like, if
God.
Stephanie was like, someone came to Stephanie and said, hey, we want you to tell a story. And Stephanie was like, well, you know what? I've really wanted to tell this story for a long time. I respect that. And I think there's worth in this story. And I think it was well done. Do I think it belonged in the Pride anthology? I don't know. For me, it didn't land in that respect.
There
I
are
wish
characters.
This had been an issue. I wish this had been an issue of an ongoing Batwoman series.
That'd be fine. I also just think there are characters who seeing them be like unconditionally accepting would be very healing. I just don't think that's Jacob Kane for anybody. Who's the Jacob Kane stan out here that's like, this spoke to my heart?
Yeah.
Like, who is the guy that's just like, I am just the biggest fan of Doug Ray Scott?
Yes.
Oh my
1000%.
God.
1000%. There, please, like any other dad, just give us somebody that we would have been moved by, I guess. I don't know. Next, we gotta talk about Tim.
Well, no, we have to talk about Ghostmaker.
Oh, I'm sorry.
kidnapping
I've
a
been waiting for
himbo.
this. This is what I've been waiting for.
We need to write the fan fiction of what is happening with this himbo. What is happening? I love it.
Instead of the story we just talked about, there should have been a Ghostmaker story.
Ghostmaker and
it's
himbo.
like swoops down at a circuit party or something of that sort and takes a himbo and then goes from there. Right? I mean,
he see many people deeply concerned for the kidnapped himbo.
Exactly.
As many people not concerned, but that's okay.
Yeah.
And maybe
why
what
this
happens
particular
here
character,
is he's
you
like,
know?
he catches him because he's falling from something, but then he can't stop. So he's just like, you're with me now. We gotta go.
I don't know Ghost. I haven't read very much Ghostmaker. Is he the character that would just steal a himbo for shits and giggles?
Is the biggest Ghostmaker stan in the world. So please, TJ, take it away.
I do love me some Ghostmaker. I think I've read.
I like the idea of like Batman's ultra competitive, like anime rival boyfriend.
He's very narcissistic, and so I could totally see him just taking this guy and they're gonna go bang it out. Like, I think this guy's into it.
Exactly.
But I could totally see
Yeah,
Ghostmaker like just
Or
taking him off his
this
feet.
himbo
Yeah.
appears to be shocked but not scared.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's into it.
It could be that they've already met right outside of the costume, right? And the
Oh,
big
yeah.
reveal is coming.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so that's when they realize, oh, okay, I'm into this. You know, like
That or he showed up to the date already in costume and he is like, we got to take this on the road. Like, I'm so sorry. People are trying to kill me, but I really
Plot
do want
twist,
to have
this
this
himbo is
conversation.
actually a horrific like mob enforcer and he is
It
about to be
could
dropped to his
be.
death.
yeah,
When
it could
Ghostmaker rarely appears without his eyes covered. So
Yeah.
even when he's walking around, he has like a blindfold over his face.
Yeah.
And
Just
he's not
walks around.
blind. He's just fucking watches too much Jujutsu Kaisen, right?
Yeah. It's because
Okay.
he's like manga inspired.
Okay,
I
'cause
love it. That's the
okay,
best.
that's so much better. He's not blind. He's just fucking extra.
So
That's
yes.
great.
Yes.
So
I
this
love it.
himbo is his waifu, is what we're learning in this movie.
But he's in love with Batman. They
Yeah.
were fucking.
Oh
back
yeah, I've
in the
been
day.
reading Batman the Night, and he is
So
very in love with
good.
Batman in that series.
Yes.
I'm loving Batman the Night. So good.
Yes.
It
And
was broke.
Batman seems into him.
Yes, it was Broke Bat Mountain. I keep telling people.
Oh my god.
Do you know how many people on Twitter were like, Batman is bisexual? It's confirmed after that issue with Ghostmaker.
Well, like, okay,
God.
I feel like they'll never confirm it,
No.
but there's between what we've been shown and what we can infer, they were totally fucking
I
in their
believe
little
it.
tent when they were teenagers. Like, and Bruce
love
was
that for
into
them.
it.
I
And
love
they were
that for
good.
them.
And now they're together
Good
in
for
present
them.
day, and they're like an old married couple, and it's great. We deserved a
We
Ghostmaker
do.
story.
We've
in
now
this.
talked more about this one panel Ghostmaker than we did the entire Batwoman story.
He deserves it.
He does
I
deserve
mean,
it.
look at it. I just like, yeah, it just
That feels warranted.
It does. It does.
I love it.
I
Yeah, I
mean-
was disappointed when I turned the page and there wasn't more.
You know, I actually
So-
thought it
Yeah.
was an intro to
Also,
a
I
story
think
too.
this Ghostmaker pinup might be the one case where we have visible bulge in the comic.
Exactly.
Oh my God, yes.
Seriously.
Yeah, he's looking fine.
I mean, it would be in the Ghostmaker pinup.
Yeah, Ghostmaker is
Mhm.
stealing a choice himbo.
We love it. Get DC, give us Himbo X Ghostmaker story now. Okay, but now we got to talk about our guy, Tim Drake.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think,
It's really
Chris?
cute. I really liked this. I thought it was very cute. It is funny. I mean, we joke about this in Drake Watch. It is hilarious that there's still no kiss. That is honestly at this point, it's starting to feel like they're trolling us, but it was very cute.
There is not a kiss in the Tim Drake special, which
I need,
when this releases, that issue will have been out by now. I
Yeah.
hope it's in there because we just deserve one. We should have had one in this story. And the
Yeah.
fact that we didn't just
It's
makes me
insane.
think they're saving it. It has to be coming.
God,
Yeah.
So just give it to me.
I'm so into Tim Drake being bi,
Yes.
but every time I see Bernard, I have the like Jason Bateman in Arrested Development, like her face.
With him,
I like
Like him?
Bernard.
he's
think he's cute.
fine. I feel like he really doesn't have anything going on
Yeah.
yet. But
He's
in
a
this
nice
story,
starter boyfriend.
yeah, like in
Like-
this story, I thought they were so
Starter
cute.
boy.
And look,
It's
I think I
true.
come in with a biased perspective here because I just want a Simpson style like shove the lamb that is Bernard out of the way, be like, get over there. We need Connor in here.
Yeah,
Like
he's-
none of us are in
Like, at this
disagreement
point,
that he
like-
doesn't need Goddard, but
Like,
you know.
great, Bernard, we needed you to get Tim to
Out of the closet.
admit he's bi. At this point, you now only exist as an impediment to Tim Kahn.
yeah,
Yeah.
he got the
Yeah,
motor running.
It was definitely a surprise to
Aw.
me that this was Bernard's first pride. I was like, did we know he didn't know he was gay? I didn't know that. This
Are they
this was
each
a
other's
surprise to
closet
me.
keys?
I
Oh,
guess.
these boys
They
are going to be
could
awkward.
They
I
could
took
be.
it as like
Yeah.
So Bernard was super into Tim back in
Yeah.
the day. So I read it as like Tim was kind of Bernard's awakening, or at
Oh.
least helped him accept himself. And he also had
Uh-huh.
like a thing for Robin too.
Yeah, I do
So
think
that
that's
was cute.
cute. I really want a story, a Tim Drake Bernard story where it's like Gem and the holograms, where Bernard is like cheating on Tim with Robin. Wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever?
I
He's
would
like,
enjoy that. That would be
he's
very
just like,
fun.
you don't like me as much as you like Robin. Meanwhile, knowing he is in fact Robin.
But again, they keep it at current and so they're just like it's just Bernard holding hands with both Tim and Robin.
Oh yeah, no, you're right, because we do not kiss. I know the cheating is hand holding.
Well, here's the thing. There's so much gay kissing because it's the pride
No.
issue
I know.
that I do not feel like, oh, they don't want to show gay kissing, that there's now enough. And because, again, this is what it means to have this much representation.
Yeah,
It feels like specifically a Tim thing.
it seems targeted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the
It
fact that
feels
they
like
don't
this
kiss.
is now part of Tim's character where he is
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
slow as fuck.
yeah.
Move-
Ideally, where it would have
As in
happened would have-
moving
oh, sorry.
slow as fuck in the relationship.
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just gonna say ideally it would have happened second to the last panel, right?
Yes.
Where you know they're right there. Which I have to say is a beautiful panel because
It
they
is really
drew the
cute.
boys they just look good, right?
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yes.
look at them, this is so cute.
It's beautiful. But, like, I'm imagining like Tim going to Dick and being like, what should I do for our like sixth date? And Dick being like, by now I was already having sex with the alien.
I would love it if he's like talking about it with Dick and Dick's just thinking that he's asking about sex. And by the end of the conversation, Tim's like, so that's when I kiss him. And Dick's just like, you haven't kissed him?
Exactly.
that is it exactly.
Like, I thought you were talking about fucking him.
Exactly.
The panel Mark was talking about, the one with their foreheads
Yeah, sorry.
touching,
Yes.
like just the intimacy in this issue that it brought to the story is what I feel like we've been
I
missing
agree.
from the Tim Bernard stories so far.
Yeah.
So again, just like the Aquaman story, I felt like this one gave me what I've been wanting, what
Yeah.
I had been promised, but
No, I
hadn't
agree.
been given yet. So that made me love this all the more. And just the fact that it was done so well. And then okay,
Yeah.
back to the lack of kissing with their foreheads touching in that moment. Like
It's very intimate and beautiful.
It
it was
is.
to me, I read it as like of course we know it should have been a kiss, but
Yeah.
reading into it, I'm like, they've kissed already. These two have made out. Like we haven't seen it yet, which is
Mm.
totally unfair. But that level of intimacy to me, like, was apparent through their body language.
No, I feel like there is no way that it is not a huge thing because Tim Drake is incapable of having an emotional moment that isn't made a big deal out of because
Do you think
it
as of right
breaks
now
him.
in that
Yeah.
panel they haven't kissed yet?
No, I think his
Yeah.
brain
Ugh.
will short circuit when they kiss and we will see much of it.
I think
Oh.
they're gonna do something big for the first
I
kiss.
they better fucking do something. Can we also talk about the shirtless splashing in the water scene? Like,
Yeah.
hello, call me by your name, Tim Drake.
Yeah, I loved all the little flashes
really
of their
cute.
dates.
It is,
The
it's
throwing
cute.
up on my shoes.
That was
the
cute.
movie theater scene. I just
Yeah.
yeah,
The
it's just little
hand-holding.
The
things.
holding
I mean,
hands.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really it is pretty sweet, and
Yeah.
just seeing this with a character that's so well
Yeah.
known. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
lot in a
It
very good
is.
way, obviously. So
Yeah.
that means a lot to me, and I'm sure to many other people.
Oh
So.
yeah. Also, just the plot line of him having this cake that he's trying to get to Bernard, and every villain in the city is like,
Yeah.
it has to be important because a Robin's protecting it, is
Yeah.
hilarious. Like that's a Wayne family adventure story waiting to happen right there, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It
Went
was
all that way to
cute.
give him his cake.
And it just says free.
Bam.
free.
Which cake?
Yes.
Both.
Yeah, one day he'll give him his cake, but for now he has this.
And we got a cannon hand holding in this.
Yes.
Did
Like-
get a kid in hand
Like it was so
holding.
cute, but part of me is like, now I can't pretend the Wayne family adventure hand holding is canon. They're so different.
Oh, it's cute
But
though.
both
I
very
like it.
good.
I liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The ending, just this was so sweet. And
It was really what I wanted. I was very happy. Also, this is like, we've had lots of conversations about the queerness of Tim Drake and how far they're willing to go. This is an undeniably queer story. And I don't just mean because it's in Pride. This is a queer story. We got
Yeah.
one. We did it. We did it, team. We made it. We did it, Joe.
yeah. Full disclosure, this is my favorite story in the anthology. Like, I'm not saying it's the best, even though I think it does what it does very well,
Mhm.
and they're all trying to do something different. But personally, I loved this one the most as a Tim fan, and just
Yeah.
this intimacy is what I've been craving between him and Bernard. So
Yeah.
this was for me.
Awesome.
This one and Connor Hawk, those two are tied
Yeah.
for favorite.
Yes.
And the next one, which I also really love.
Mhm.
Really?
Okay.
Shocker.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this
Harley
was,
and Ivy. This story was fucking awesome. This was written, by the way, by Danny Fernandez, who I have the biggest crush on. She is amazing. She is on the D&D show Dimension 20, and she's so fun and so beautiful. I can't. But yes. What was I saying? This is a great story.
Control yourself.
I cannot.
Yeah, I liked this one. I thought the art was really good. I liked the writing.
Yeah.
It was a story I feel like I've seen before, but it was done very well. And I do have a question. Did you read it as this being the first I love you between these two?
I think that's what it's supposed to be set, right?
Yes.
Like that's what it felt
Yeah.
like to me.
And it was a test, so to speak, so that
Yeah.
they finally came out in that moment where they absolutely
Yeah.
had to declare that,
Yeah.
because otherwise, things could have gone really bad.
Yeah, I also love
Yeah, this is
like
definitely
this.
like the first I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a queer, like this beautiful sapphic relationship where they are so confident in each other that mind games can't shake them. They're like, no,
Yep.
Ivy would never. She would never say that about me. Harley
Yeah.
would never do that to me. There's
Yeah.
no scenario. And it's so they're confident. There's not a moment of doubt. They're like, nope, you're not
Yeah.
her. And I love it. It's,
And
oh,
Zoe
love that.
Thorogood's art is just so good.
So
Like, Zoe
good.
Thorogood on
yes.
a Harley Ivy story is just chef's kiss.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna have to kill your fine ass. Love that.
Yeah, I love the level of the sexuality between them coming through
Yeah.
in all these lines. Like they were unabashedly being very
Yeah.
flirty and sexual, and I thought that was I'm glad they didn't shy away from that
Oh
aspect.
yeah,
Exactly.
I
It
want to have a
shouldn't
different
be.
kind of cardio tonight. Like, oh my god, I love it.
Yeah. Because like, I mean, think about it. Like right before this, we had the story where they haven't even kissed. We're not even there yet. And then we get these two adults who are very much in that
Yeah.
space where they know each other well intimately. And
Yeah.
that's what really helps drive the story and to also make it so that they can trust each other and come out okay on the other end. Which
Harley's
reminds me of the
giving
movie.
her cake all the time.
Well, yes. Which reminds me, in that sense, it reminds me of the movie Bound, because very much how
Yeah.
the way that the two characters, Corky and I'm forgetting the other one's name, shame on me, but they have to get to know each other. They get intimate, and then
Mhm.
it's that trust that they rely on to get to the end of the damn film, because otherwise it
Yeah.
does not work. And that I kind of see that in this, and
I do
love it,
too.
so,
I love
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, well said.
Wasn't there a joke about being a top in this story?
I think
She's
there
like,
might have
There's
been.
been.
quite a few. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me?
And she's like,
Yeah,
no,
this
you're
was,
not.
they were not afraid to be flirty and suggestive and overtly sexual, and it was very fun and enjoyable. And
Yeah.
I love this story.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
of this, please.
Give me a
Yes.
little bit of that in the Tim Drake story, please.
Tim is not capable of that, TJ. You got to lower your expectations. That would be out of character.
Just want a kiss, please.
A kiss is fine. There's no Tim Drake scenario in which he flirts with anyone ever. I'm so sorry to break it to you. Have you met this child?
I will say this story broke my mind a little bit because we just got a Harley Ivy first kiss flashback like last year,
Yeah.
and it was really beautiful. So I'm like, no, there can't be two first kisses. But that's just me.
I don't think this is a first kiss. This is a first I love you. They've kissed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I meant first I love you. But
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They've done way
Yeah.
more than kiss.
Yeah, I was gonna say they've kissed in
Mm.
many places.
pretty sure. I'm gonna go fact check myself, but I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking of the story in Urban Legends #1, and it was actually written by Stephanie
Oh.
Phillips, and I loved it.
That was a really good story. Yeah.
So either way, both stories great, and I like this one a lot too. Yeah,
Yes.
is this the one you were talking about, Ben, with the
Yes,
team?
in terms of lots of characters being introduced very quickly. And
Oh my god, yes.
yeah, I feel like this was especially, a character people may be unfamiliar with. I feel like this was a great little intro to Earth 11 and our cast of heroes and villains on Earth 11, especially before the the new Teen Justice miniseries that is debuted the same week as this.
Yeah.
Very good.
More than any other story in here, this had me jazzed to read more of these characters. I was like, yes, give them to me. Our little Robin and Supergirl are so cute. I love them.
I did a lot of
Oh,
research.
I love Talia and Laurel.
Right?
Yeah.
They're so cute.
Yeah, the fact that this Robin is like Damien, but if he was born a girl, and her mother is Kate Kane,
Yeah.
and
Her Ali Al Ghul
yes,
is her dad. I
Yes.
love that.
and her name
and
is
Laurel
Talia.
Kent's name is husband Lewis Lane.
Yes.
I love
As
it. Just full gender
bent
bent.
Raven.
The
I
one
love the
thing,
Raven.
the one thing that I think this might be just like a little error on is that it seemed to be inconsistent with what gender Dr. Midnight was.
Hmm.
Seems like they refer to Dr. Midnight with she her pronouns in one page and with he him
Mhm.
pronouns in another.
Well, do you think maybe they're fluid or something?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well,
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
mentioned Doc Midnight's coming out day.
Yeah.
So,
So I think they're probably fluid. I think that was intentional.
Yeah, I could see that. That makes sense.
Yeah. That would make sense, especially in a story with Kid Quick.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So that's
There you go.
canon at the very least. I also really love the insult. That's not very pride of you. Gonna
Yeah, no,
be
like-
using that for the rest of the month? Yes, I am.
This was this is just a really fun like Teen Titans type adventure.
That was cute.
And like you said, it's the one you wanted to read more from, which is why I'm so glad it's the one where there's immediately now an issue. Like
I know,
this-
me too. I'm
yeah,
so
it leads
excited.
right into the it leads right into the Teen Justice
Yeah.
miniseries.
I am very excited for this sexy, dark, gender bent Raven. I want to
Oh my
know.
god, yes,
Oh
and
my
his romance
God.
with Donald Troy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I am.
the romance.
Oh my god, I
Ooh.
am here
And
for it.
again, I actually did read the first issue of Teen Justice after
How
this.
is it? I
and
haven't read it yet.
It's a lot of fun.
It's
It's
good.
really enjoyable.
All right, I'm gonna read it right
Super
after
fun.
this. I'm very excited.
It's very good.
Yeah, absolutely pick it up. Definite recommend.
Love. What
And
do you think,
maybe-
Mark? We have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
for this one, you know what, I'm gonna have to look into these characters more because unfortunately I don't know a lot about them. So this was my intro to these characters. I feel like a little lost in that sense. I was like, okay,
That's
this is fun,
fair.
but unfortunately I don't have a lot of reference to it. But it was fun. It was very
Yeah.
very fun.
Yeah.
And like I said, the fact that you get all these different versions of these characters, I was like, okay, this is really interesting. But it's like I feel so lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I didn't really say much. So
that's fair. That's
No,
fair.
I had to do a lot of research because I was like,
Yeah.
okay, last year there was a story with this same character who was Kid Quick, but in that
Yeah.
it was the Flash.
Mm.
And I'm like, this Kid Quick looks younger than the Flash.
Mhm.
So apparently
Yes, it's
Jesse Chambers, I think is the name
Yep.
of the
Okay.
character.
Jess
and
Chambers.
Jess Chambers, and they were the Flash in Future State last
Yes.
year. So
Mhm.
that story last year was an older Jess Chambers.
okay.
But this is
and-
just quick. Is it the same character?
Yes.
So yes,
Okay.
this
yes,
is
Kid Quick becomes Future State
yeah.
Flash.
So this story is set earlier in that
I see.
timeline when Jess was in the
Mm.
Teen Justice. So Jess is a teen in this
Cute.
story,
Okay.
but then the same, the story from last year, they were
Mm.
older and were the
Got
Flash
it.
in the
Yes.
future. Yeah.
And
so-
they
Okay.
have
Thank you
a
for that.
super
You're welcome.
they have a super cute romance with Aquawoman.
Oh yay! Okay, I'm
Mm.
excited. It's gonna be good.
Future State Justice League is a definite highlight of that event.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And Jess is
Mhm.
just such a fun character. Like they had so many
Oh,
good
yeah.
lines in this where I was laughing. And maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the first issue that also came out the same day. But anyway, like we said, go pick that up. 'cause
Also,
it's just as
Again,
fun.
Future State Justice League, that is a team roster where 4/6 are canonically queer.
Love
Yes.
that. Love it. Also, Robin's space buns are everything, and I can't wait to see people cosplaying this.
Aw.
Exactly. That's gonna be
Wouldn't
super
that be
cute.
There's gonna be
Yeah.
little kids cosplaying this, and I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
That is
Yeah.
very cute.
Aw. I'm looking forward to all the Troy and Raven cosplayers.
Yes.
All right. Emotionally whiplashing our way to the final story.
Oh.
Prepare ourselves. This was
So,
beautiful.
A story that honestly just give this story an Eisner.
I agree.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
It was,
I thought
and,
it was
and it
good.
didn't, and the fact that it just needed, nothing against the art itself, but just a very, very kind of, I'm gonna say bare bones, but it's just
Yeah.
very to the point
Yeah.
art to
I
tell
agree.
the story, because the story itself is what is really important here, right?
Mhm.
And then it just obviously, he is older than I am, but there's just a lot of things that cross over into when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And going through the AIDS crisis and losing friends and so forth. So it was just very interesting to see what he went through just to get to that point. Things we didn't know about, right? Because
Oh,
so
yeah.
some
Yeah.
people knew that he was out. I had no idea, and then when it all
Neither.
came out,
I mean, he wasn't publicly like
Yeah.
out like.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure him being like Wikipedia page out wasn't until like the 2010s.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic story. Obviously, a lot of hard things to get through, but it's a very important story, and it's very important. I think that young queer people need to see these stories because it absolutely informs them as to what happened before and how we got to where we're at right now. And obviously, we're still fighting. It's and it's for our trans family. It just in general, everything that we see happening now. I mean, if you get through one struggle and then there's another, right?
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but it gives me hope though. I loved reading this story.
Mark, are you
agrees.
telling me Pride hasn't been a party for decades?
Oh my God.
Just
Only
kidding.
a little bit.
I was
okay?
thinking
I'm
it,
just
but I
teasing.
wasn't going to say it.
If
We
this,
love you, Devin.
if this Pride special had been nothing but the Kevin Conroy
Yeah.
special and then just ads for fruit pies, it still would have been worth the $10.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
It is also, this feels like a story that explains some of the things we've tried to say about why Batman is important to us as a
Mhm.
character. Like the way that Batman meant so much to Kevin in how he related to this person, how he related to the trauma and the resilience and the hiding parts of yourself. And I don't know, it really just spoke to what we've talked about when we talk about what our Batman is and why he matters to the queer community.
Wearing a
So
mask and leading
Yeah.
2 lives.
Yeah.
I've thrown some criticism at first person caption boxes.
Sure.
This story, I think, it
This is
used
how you
them
do
like
it.
masterfully. Like this is how you do it. Like, but again, like this is using it specifically to create distance between
Yeah.
you and what's immediately in the panel.
Yeah.
This you're not meant to be in the moment of the panel. You're meant to be seeing this life in an overview. So I think this is a comic where that narrative tool is used to very, very good effect.
Right. Then the moments when it bleeds over, when he's imagining his life kind of bleeding into Gotham, where he's imagining himself holding his parents in Crime Alley or his brother in Crime Alley, it was just so
Yeah.
affecting.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, that last page or two was perfect.
Oh,
the
the
final
last
panel.
panel.
Yeah,
Holy shit, the final panel.
was good.
Mhm. Mhm.
I will say, everyone online was like, I love this story, but I didn't react that strongly to it. I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad it's in here. I appreciate it and the story it's telling. But in terms of like my enjoyment and favoritism, I'd rank this like somewhere in the middle. That's why I was so shocked that everyone was so in love with it.
I don't think it's to be enjoyed. To be fair,
Right.
TJ, it's not meant
right.
to be enjoyed.
It's
On
to
a
be,
craft
it's not meant to
level,
be.
I
It's to
think
be
it's good.
felt.
It's to be felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And wow, did I feel this
Yeah.
story?
But even
It
then-
really reminded me of. And if you haven't read it, absolutely please do. Dark Knight, a true Batman story by Paul
Mm.
Dini.
Yes.
Heard of that.
Yes.
It's
It's
the story of how, again, Paul Dini dealing with his recovery after
Mhm.
suffering a violent assault
Mhm.
Yeah.
during his time on Batman, and how Batman and like again, once again, a story about the real life impact that Batman has on the people who created his fictional stories, as
Yeah.
and
I get it.
Batman's role in helping them deal with
Exactly.
very, very heavy issues.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
made me think a lot of Cape Crusade as well, which covers, the like, people who have overcome abuse because they had Batman in their lives. And, just again, the way that this character means so much to the people that read him, and how, seeing that in somebody's real life, in the person who is my voice of Batman, when I think of Batman, is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing his voice so easily reading this
Me too.
comic. Like
Yeah.
I was
Me too.
hearing him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love him.
I think it's just because to me, it's a great way to bookend and end the story, because we've gotten all these different like views of like queer life, so to speak, these different
Yeah.
characters, intimacy,
Mhm.
new beginnings, people just realizing who they are and everything. And then we get this person whose journey, they're obviously a lot older and
Mhm.
they've been through quite a bit. And
Yeah.
again, the fact that Kevin Conroy means a lot to a lot of people,
Right.
because of the work they've done and everything. To me, I've always loved hearing these stories from people. It's like, I had no idea he had gone through all this. And then to find out, wow, it's like we can share that story now.
Yeah.
And we have this common ground as queer people. We get to share
Yeah.
our coming out stories, whether it be from this generation or the generation before. But again, to me, it's very important for me to know about
Yeah.
coming out stories that are way before me, because they're so different and they went
Right.
through so many different things that I don't have to worry about. They
Yeah.
literally went through all that so that I can have a better future, so to speak, right?
Right.
And I want that to continue no matter how good everything gets, because people need to continue to be reminded of it wasn't always like this.
I agree.
That's super important.
Yeah, I think this story was so incredibly important for all the reasons you're saying, and just how important it is for us to remember our queer elders. Like, we
Mhm.
have people that are still alive. We've lost a lot of people, unfortunately, to
Yeah.
violence, to AIDS, and things like that. But there are people that are still alive, and we need, as a community, we need to lean on our queer elders and listen to them, and it'll strengthen us if we do.
Yeah.
And
I'm glad this
Batman is
story
one of them.
exists. Glad this exists. I'm glad it was told.
Mhm.
As I was saying, I didn't love
Mhm.
it. I think maybe it got a little overhyped for me. So by the time I got to it, I was like,
I
I
with
get
you.
that though. I've had it
It's
happen
true.
to me before too, where
But-
people
That's
hype
fair.
it too much, and then I finally get to it, and I'm like, oh.
This is
And again,
why I still haven't and may never see Bo Burnham's Inside.
Oh, I do love Bo Burnham's Inside, but
And
I
I-
watched it before. That was the thing. I
Same
watched it
here,
before it got
same
really
here.
hot.
At
I
this
watched
point,
it
it has
before
been
all the hype.
hyped to the point of like Moses coming down with the 10 Commandments.
That is how it felt watching it, if it makes you feel better.
It totally did. Oh
did.
my god.
It did. It did.
Just he's
I've been
nice to look
transformed.
at, so I
Yeah.
kind of have a big crush on the guy. So
He's cute. I understand.
yeah.
I feel like I
Oh.
need to read this story again
Yeah, you do.
to
Don't
appreciate it a
worry.
little more. I do like that this story gave us a gay Batman story in the Pride anthology
That is
without
really cool.
giving us a gay Batman story in the Pride anthology
Yeah.
yet.
Yep. I liked it.
I mean, also like there's some great art in here, and I appreciate, again, like it's a simpler art style, but I kind of
Yeah.
appreciate the underground feel
Yeah.
to it, which
Yeah.
is very fitting for this autobio style.
The
And
facial
honestly just stands out
expressions-
in this anthology, and it's just a nice little bit of artistic variety.
the facial expressions are heartbreaking. Like, they shattered my heart seeing them several
Mhm.
places. Like, this
Yeah.
was powerfully done, subtle
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't want to say. I feel bad saying that it was very bare bones, but that they
No, I
didn't
think it was
go
on
flashy.
purpose.
Yeah, they didn't need to go flashy to
It's a
Mhm.
say
different
what
style.
they needed to say, right?
It's
To
a
say what
it's
they
a
needed-
different style.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
this
yeah.
isn't art inherited from the line of Jack Kirby, Frank
Yeah.
Miller superhero comics.
Yeah.
This is the
Yeah.
world of like Alison Bechdel, like
Mhm.
Harvey,
Like Funhouse, even.
yeah, Funhouse,
Yeah,
Howard Cuse. Like this is underground comics.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'd
agree.
call it like minimalistic.
Yeah, minimalist.
There you
I
go.
like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Well, as we're kind of wrapping up, I know TJ and I've already mentioned, what is everybody's favorite story?
was yours again?
Let's put Kevin Conroy to the side because it's
Yes,
a different.
thank you.
That's
Thank
a whole
you.
other league of
That's
stories.
that's a crazy
My
one.
my favorite TJ was the Connor Hawk one and Tim Drake, but I actually think
right.
Connor Hawk was surprisingly is above Tim Drake in this one. One instance.
Yeah. I think the Connor Hawk story was the best.
Mhm.
Yeah,
The Tim Drake one's my personal favorite.
Mhm.
And then
Fair.
the Alicia story is like a runner up.
I love the Alicia and I love the Harley ones as well. They were
Yeah.
real good.
I really love the Harley and Ivy story
Mm.
because I am trash for anything Harley and Ivy.
Oh yeah.
But I really enjoyed the Aquaman story, and again, just got to give it up for some great art in this. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just flipping again through it. It's just like,
It's gorgeous.
yeah, like this is
eye candy. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's almost like animation style.
Yeah,
I
well,
loved
Yes.
it.
I was thinking about it. Like, it was very much in the sense like how the Animatrix was Star Wars Visions. You get all these
Yeah.
different interpretations, and it's beautiful. I love seeing all those together, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for me, the Connor stories first, I loved it because I said I was like, look, you're getting ace representation,
Yeah,
and that is
it's
so
huge.
awesome, right? So it definitely went to the top of like the pile right away. I was like, okay.
Agree.
Then the Batgirl story is the next one up, and then the
Mhm.
Aquaman one. I think those are my
Yeah.
three favorite for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what would you hope to see in Pride 2023?
Ooh.
Maybe Tim getting a kiss.
Getting a kiss. I was jumping
Could
to
be.
sucking some dick.
Tim Drake deep throating.
Come on.
Time jump
Just-
for the
now that's
ages.
that's the
That's-
pin-up. Just Tim Drake, just full on 69, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like we got a whole other
Yes.
year, Chris.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Aim
Fair.
high or aim
Just
low.
say- I was saying I think it's going to take a whole other year to get to a kiss, but sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
The snail pace we're moving at.
No, I want the kiss now.
No idea. Yeah,
I'd
what-
like to see Wink and the Airy make
Oh.
a reappearance.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
me too.
That's good.
I mean, this is cheesy as it might be, but it might be cool. And forgive me if this has already been done. If you get like a group of the queer heroes together to form a little super group for whatever reason, right? You know, whether it be
Yeah.
just a council or something, but just the fact that you get to see them together fighting
Yeah.
for a cause.
It
right?
was vaguely done in the first Pride anthology, but it was really, really poorly done. I thought because it was like
Yeah.
real fast, like flash in the pan. kind of
Okay,
fast.
okay.
Are we
Yeah.
talking JLQ?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Ooh, you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I've got another wish list item
Yeah.
for next year's.
Hmm.
I would love to see an Alan Scott, Joe Mullen queer Green Lantern team up.
That would be
Hmm.
fun. So a time traveling shenanigan situation?
Nah, Alan Scott's still around.
Is he? I guess he is. I kind of thought he was dead for a second.
Nobody fucking dies in these universes.
Fair enough. Sorry, Alan Scott. Sorry, Alan Scott.
Oh, okay. Since the other ones had kind of already been done, okay, I'll put this out there because I
Yeah.
think
It
we
can be
all would
done
enjoy
better.
this.
It could be done better though, for real.
Ghostmaker story. Let's
Yes.
put in the forefront. Come on.
Ghostmaker for real.
And then maybe they can elaborate on that little, the image that we got.
Okay, I'm gonna
Please.
disagree. I want a completely different yet equally bewildering Ghostmaker pinup.
just every Pride
Every
anthology is-
issue has one like that. We have to decipher and we make our own little story up, right?
I
Yes.
love it. It's like
Yes.
a writing prompt. It's
There
amazing.
you go.
Oh my
Okay, that's
gosh.
I'm all for that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely Ghostmaker for sure. Wink in the Aerie. I
Absolutely.
want to see Ben Kahn writing that story. That
Yeah,
would be cool.
Ben.
I think that would also be very cool.
Get
I'm
Ben
going
Kahn
to
in
agree
this.
with that
I
opinion.
mean, last year we said the same about Jadzia,
And look what happened. We have power.
Let's see if I can get that Gotham Outsiders bump.
Yeah. I missed Midnighter in this. I wanted to see him again.
Oh, Midnighter would be great.
Midnighter and Apollo, get up in here. It would be cute.
We need a Wonder Woman story.
Yes. Where is
Wonder
our bisexual
Woman.
Wonder Woman? We know she is. She's talking
Constantine. Why have we not
Yeah,
gotten?
we
Like, I
got
know
Rose
he was,
Constantine.
There you go.
he was in it last year, but like, I
Yeah.
want a Constantine.
Okay, if you
story.
want,
Shark
I will say,
also.
if you want some great queer Constantine stuff, please read Vita's currently going story in
Yes.
Batman Urban Legends, where
Yes.
Constantine is hitting on Batman the entire time.
So
oh my
good.
gosh, I need to go read that.
Oh my God, yes. I think I would love, to kind of jump off Mark's idea. I would like a very unhinged queer team up where like John Constantine unites the like misfit gays. Like Justice League,
Harley and
JLQ
Constantine are gay and be gay do crimes.
Yeah, JLQ Dark.
Yes. We got to get JLQ first. Come on.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
Oh, that's
but I
too
want to
funny.
see JLQ Dark. I want to see all the weird gays.
They've had 1.5 short stories.
I know, it's fair.
Yeah, give them a mini series.
Yeah,
please.
you got to throw in more of the team, otherwise.
Oh, yep. We want it to be explicit. What I'm getting here is the Pride 2023 is going to be not safe for work.
Mouth to shaft
Good.
action.
Look, if you've ever seen
Great.
that one episode of It's Always Sunny where Dennis Reynolds breaks down his ideal superhero movie,
Yes.
full penetration,
Yeah.
fighting crime, full penetration, crime, back to full penetration.
I like it. This like 2023 Pride is just going to be called Kink at Pride.
Ooh, you see what those words like make people act like
2023,
those.
all kink, no cops.
There you go.
Yes. This
Seriously.
time, Damien is fighting the police.
Yes.
He's like, I had finally learned what Stonewall was. I'm gonna throw the bricks now, bitches.
Oh my God.
Well, Ben and Mark, thank you both so much for joining us to talk about this issue.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank
This
you.
was so much fun.
Thank you. I'm just
Yeah.
glad to get invited because, like I said before, considering all the amazing guests that you folks have, and then you invite little old me on, I'm super
Yeah.
thankful.
Now
So-
that you're on our team and not our rival, I can say we love you.
Aw, thank you.
You are one of our amazing guests.
You are one of our
Thank
amazing
you.
guests.
Yeah.
Yeah.
appreciate
So where could our listeners find you both on social media? Do you have any projects they should be looking out for? Mark, do you want to go first?
Sure. You can find me on Friday evenings at 9:30 on Pink Milk After Dark with Emma, Brian, and Chase, where we talk Star Wars queerly. And yeah, check us out sometime if you, like I said, if you love Star
As if
Wars.
there's any other way to talk Star Wars.
Right, exactly.
queerly.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you
Ben.
guys were just at
Exactly.
the Star Wars celebration.
Yes.
You had a
We're-
panel.
We had a panel. It was very well attended. We got a shout out at the closing ceremony. There were many tears shortly afterwards. It was an amazing time.
Aw.
And I got to meet them all in person, which was
Yeah.
awesome. I was one of the best weeks of my life.
I was living through all your pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, we
I loved
were.
it. Okay, so I also wanted to bring up the Amidala initiative, which our friend Ben had put together, which basically puts we have a GoFundMe so that it goes towards benefiting Equality Texas, for trans youth and their families. Because obviously, everything you see in the news and a lot of the struggle that has been happening lately, and it feels like every politician out there is just coming down hard on
Yeah.
trans people, and it's been tough to see. And so this is a way to support them all. So definitely we will give a link so that folks can go and support this good cause.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
What about you, Ben?
You can find me on Instagram at BenCon Comics, at Twitter at Ben the Con. You can purchase all of my past graphic novel work at benconcomics.com. My next upcoming release will be a bookstore re-release of Heavenly Blues from Scout Comics. It recollects the 6-issue series together with a brand new cover by series artist Bruno Hidalgo, and that'll be out in bookstores everywhere this August. And then keep an eye out in 2023 for my debut novel about a non-binary middle schooler called Elle Campbell Saves Their Saturday.
Oh, I'm so excited for
Nice.
it.
So
Yes.
excited.
Oh my God.
Got a
Yes.
meeting
So
with my
excited.
editor tomorrow to go over the new draft.
Yes.
I'm already ready to feature it on all my library lists next year.
Yes.
So,
1000%.
Yeah.
1000%.
all right. Well, until next time, JLQ disassemble.
Thank you for listening to the Gotham Outsiders. You can find me, Chris, on Twitter at The Myth of Psyche, where I talk about feminism, psychology, and Batman, of course. But you can also find me on my new show at Thirsty on Tune over on the Talking Comics feed, where Bronwyn and I review webtoons and drink wine and also review romance novels. You can also find me writing reviews at talkingcomics.com, and I am now accepting consulting clients. So if you need someone to do sensitivity reading or consult on psychology or queer identity, I'm your person. You can also find my co-host TJ
At Troyfin2 on Twitter, where I talk about books, gay things, gay books, and all sorts of things, including Batman pretty often, way more than I used to. And I recently became an official librarian, so you can find all sorts of book reviews that I post just for fun, a lot of advanced reviews of books that haven't come out yet. So if you're looking for a nice gay read, please hit me up. You could also find me talking on other podcasts just here and there if you search my name on any podcast service provider that you listen to.
and you can find us both talking about Batman all the time at the Gotham Outsiders. So join us next time, same bat place.